All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Bam Weather here. I'm with Michael. Michael has joined us this afternoon because I think he is intrigued by what he sees developing out here to our west. Here's a look at the current radar right now. We've got numerous severe thunderstorm warnings across southern Illinois right now, and actually beginning to see more activity develop here across southwestern Indiana and southeastern Illinois. And if we put the radar into motion here, guys, pretty decent northeastward motion on this. Do you think the severe thunderstorm watch could maybe be extended a county road to the north?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to me, I see a clear northeast movement right now, at least. And I think again, what I've noticed that's been interesting today is the overall rapid clearing and just the very dense moisture supply, mid 60 dew points, very humid and sticky out. Um, so there's plenty of energy that the environment's conducive for pretty nasty round of storms. I think from I-70 south really is my kind of uh, idea there.
Yeah, sure. This line is working into an environment that's very, very favorable. I want to pull up the satellite here because it's gotten very sunny. If you watched one of our reels that we did a couple of weeks ago when we talked about how sunshine can amplify storms, that's exactly what's happening. And this gap that we had throughout the core heating of the day is going to be again very conducive to enhancing the severe storms in here. And so I think that these storms probably continue to intensify a little bit as they push further off to the east. Wind and large hail, probably the biggest threats, but maybe an isolated tornado spinning up as well, not off the table. Here's a look. This is actually the same data that we showed this morning. If you watched our live stream this morning, and as this kind of pushes in, this is just going to give you some general timing, and then we'll get into maybe some deeper radar analysis for you all. But this is by about 5 o'clock. The storm's really beginning the core of it to push along the Indiana and Illinois border. We do have some pop-up activity here. You can see some pop-up activity possible out ahead, and what we're already seeing is these have the potential to be somewhat somewhat intense. I think that there could be some stronger to locally severe storms in here out ahead of this main line as well. And then as we continue to go through here, guys, this is by about 6, 7 o'clock. You can see that these stronger storms try to get all the way north into the Indianapolis metro area. The strongest storms here at this time, probably turn on our drawing tool. If I had to circle an area, kind of through this area in here is where I would say that the strongest storms are going to be. And what's interesting to me, Michael, some of these notches in here,
Hmm.
especially south, that we may need to monitor for some kind of a rotation signal.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to as just as you're chatting, there is pre line development occurring. I'm trying to get an idea on the main line. Uh, it's a little sloppy, but if we drew it out, sorry, I'm just trying to do some math in my head real quick. I think about
You're
40 miles
good.
an hour.
I am
For
I'm trying to give you access, Michael, to be able to interact with people. But
well,
I'm
I'll share my screen real quick. Just that
sure.
I think we're getting central Indiana impact from Indy to just east of Bloomington down to down the line of 65. I think call it 65. I think we're looking around 7 o'clock. Um, 7 p.m. looks to be a good figure right now. I'm going to share my screen. Want to confirm you can see it okay?
Yep.
Okay. So this is radar right now. And again, I want to put this into motion so you can kind of see the general direction here. That's really what I'm after. I'm trying to get you guys to see. Um, watch right here. Of course, you can, let's see, right? You can kind of see the general bottom part of that, the general top part. It's going to be really close. Something like this. I think it's along and south of I-70.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're along and north of I-70, for the most part, this severe threat should evade you unless something changes dramatically in the next few hours. But I think it's really along this line and portions south and east of it that are going to be impacted. I will say the environment is very conducive for um, strong storms. The Cape has built nicely. There's an adequate moisture supply, and there's forcing along a front. There's a couple of things that pique my interest here across eastern Illinois. First thing is this thunderstorm out ahead of the main line. That's got a little bit of a nature to hook to it on the back end there. But you can see the individual thunderstorm cell development out ahead of this in southwest Indiana there, and then again in eastern Illinois. Again, that's generally moving this direction, this east northeast direction here. Everything's generally moving at about 40 miles per hour. So that's why the north end is a little bit tougher to pin down the impacts because of this stuff developing right here. Make it
Yeah.
a little sloppy.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking through here, Michael, at some a little bit of the environment out ahead. I would say that maybe in southern and southeast Indiana, there's a little bit more of a signal for some kind of rotation. Looking at the photographs from the Storm Prediction Center's mesoanalysis page, you look in southern Indiana, I'm just monitoring here, a little bit of a better environment as these storms move east for at least that isolated tornado threat, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, again, the instability is there for any of these storms. I was concerned this morning. We talked a little bit about large hail. With the instability out ahead of this, it won't take much to get hail in these storms and probably damaging winds as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm just trying to give the people a very clear idea of where
Mhm.
this is going to impact, and I'm just really trying to watch it here and watch this line behave. And so, right here, guys, northern edge, um, Morgan, Johnson, Shelby counties. Can you get a severe thunderstorm warning out of this? Yes, absolutely. I'm also a little concerned with the potential for heavier rain on the northern side of this with some training setting up.
Yeah,
Um,
we do have a flash flood warning on the northern edge of that in Illinois right now. Um,
okay.
so it has produced, based off of Doppler radar, already an inch of rain has fallen, with another 1 to 2 inches kind of in that corridor developing.
Okay.
So a very narrow area, kind of on the northern edge of that. That would probably be kind of through as it pushes east. What kind of through Sullivan, Mooresville, northern Monroe County, southern Johnson County, if I were to continue to kind of track that line
Yeah.
with the flash flood threat.
Yeah. I don't disagree. That's kind of my general thought process and timing. That could be a little slow. Um, but again, because that's not going to include the stuff out ahead. Again, you're seeing development out ahead right here. This timing isn't going to include that. This timing's more for this main line. I haven't looked to see if there's any um, timing uh, nowcasts in clarity
Yeah, I'll pull
um, for
them.
this particular line. I think I saw earlier it was around 650 for this area, so I think that's still pretty close to what we were thinking. Uh,
Yep. That's what's still here in the platform. I can show that real quick, Michael. So this, just to give you all an idea, if you see that little QR code in the top left, Clarity Home. This is a look at what you can get with Clarity Home. These are nowcasts that our meteorologists will send out, and I know that as these storms approach, they'll get in more and more detail in terms of where the biggest severe weather threat is. If there's a tornado threat, where to monitor that, specific timing. And so, this is just kind of a general idea here of the timing as it moves through. And it's still probably pretty good. And hey, look, they even had, Michael, this was from 12:50, so almost 3 hours ago at this point. They even had this red area for the storms firing out ahead, which is exactly what's happening. And so, if you're looking for this kind of specific detail, scan that QR code. Hope will throw a link there in the comments. you can get these nowcasts pushed directly to your device to get specific details in these conditions.
Yeah, it's fantastic forecast right there that was sent to cell phones hours ago for $99 a year. And this is by popular demand, by the way. You all were asking, thousands of you are asking for it. Um, so for 25, 27 cents a day, guys, I mean, there is no platform like Clarity, AccuWeather, Weather Channel. They don't even come close. There's no platform anywhere that offers human input to the forecast for your location. It just doesn't work that way. I apologize. I need to turn on Do Not Disturb, apparently. Bing, bing, bing when I go live. Everybody. You know, it's like, whoa, okay. I
You're
know
very popular. You're
we're here.
very
We're
popular.
here. It's but so um, one thing I do want to talk about as folks are doing the old Clarity home sign up is as this moves east a little bit too. I'm interested, Brett, in the potential that these storms to again possibly rotate a little bit more. Just looking at the meso analysis, um,
Mhm.
the ability, the significant tornado parameter, it's elevated east a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm starting to see this line, and we're not looking at, I think, huge individual supercells, but I'm starting to see this line, Michael, have some notches in it.
mhm.
You can see this here. This is southwest of Evansville, near Goreville, Illinois. We've got a little hook here, kind of embedded within this line. When you start getting the waviness and these perturbations within the line, that's when you can start to get that rotation. I'll see here if Clarity is picking up on any rotation yet. This just kind of started. It is. It's
Mhm.
starting to pick up on some rotation. And again, arguably, the environment will get a little bit better as this line pushes further off to the east. So, I think that especially in this watch area, there could be a couple of tornadoes. It's not off the table as these thunderstorms move a little bit further off to the east.
So let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you what I'm looking at. When we have these linear systems, you want to look a little bit, at least from the surface up a little bit higher. So I'm looking at surface to 3 kilometer, the energy helicity index, and you can see what to me what would be a somewhat of a thing to watch is perhaps local intensification of the thunderstorm complex as it gets over central Indiana and the ability for these storms to rotate. These storms that rotate, they would probably be very quick up and down, um, brief threats of tornadoes, and and likely wrapped in rain. These leading edges can be very difficult to see the tornadoes. But I'm interested in the environment that's further east as these storms, come in. Um, and I'll tell you one thing. Here's a look here at the conditional probability for significant tornado. It's nothing saying, hey, we're going to have an outbreak of tornadoes or anything. I'm not necessarily saying that, but the environment seems to be a little bit more conducive as it moves over central Indiana, and I think a lot of that can be due to the fact that we were able to get the sun to come out. Again, dew points are in the mid 60s. We've been in sunshine here, Brett, in central Indiana, and that has allowed for the Cape to really build. Um, Cape now over 2,000, approaching 2,500 mixed layer in many locations. So there's significant energy. And when looking at linear setups, mixed layer Cape is the key here. And there's plenty of it. So I would say right now, at least in my opinion, um, there's Brett's face. Hello, Brett. My opinion is looking at this. Go back to my screen real quick if you can for me, Brett. Sorry. There you go. Let me turn this off. I think looking at generally right in this area here, these thunderstorms could be at their peak.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they're going to be weak in here because probably this line looks pretty nasty.
It does.
It does not look like it's messing around, and there's some Boeing even coming. We might be kind of seeing the rear inflow jet kind of rear its ugly head right there,
Yeah.
and that's what's causing the bowing of this line to get those damaging winds right there. And then the apex up there to the north. Watch this for rotation and flash flooding. So interesting setup, Brett. This may end up being uh, an interesting evening. Again, for those of you just joining, again, the area I'm really focused on, and I'm trying really carefully to draw this line, is along and south of and east of this line. It's tough. The northern extent is tough. If you have additional content you'd like to offer there, but it's going to be tough to see how far north it can go.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all with that line. I think that's exactly where it is. I think that those storms, those initial storms, kind of north and northwest of Vincennes, have the capability of lifting a little bit to the north. But I think it's going to be difficult to get much further north than that at this
Mm-hmm.
point. If you put the radar into motion, there is some northeast movement to this, but it's not a ton. And as that rear inflow jet kicks in, it'll also have the tendency maybe to take those storms with time a little bit further east in nature as well. And so, I think in general, that's a very, very good idea. So, if you're north of Johnson County, Indian points to the north. Really, it's right along the I-70 corridor. If you're north of I-70, you're probably not going to see severe weather.
Yeah.
If you are south of I-70, you are very much in play for severe weather, and it's coming through probably west to east. Really, it's starting right now in western Indiana, but I would say the worst of it, western Indiana 5 and then 6 and then 7 and 8, kind of that 5 to 8 p.m. time frame across the state is where we're really going to be dealing with most of this. And obviously that's going to cause issues for any kind of track meets that are this evening, golf matches. It's that time of the year. There's baseball games, a lot of outdoor events going on, and so probably going to have some big issues in terms of lightning, damaging winds, large hail as these storms push to the north and the east over the next couple of hours.
Yeah, Brett, I'm just kind of targeting some 5 p.m. impact times. Poseyville, Morganville, or Morganfield, I'm sorry, Olney, Indiana, Sturgis, Mount Carmel, Owensville. Take it out to the 6 p.m. hour. We've got Bicknell, which is there in Knox County, just east of Vincennes, Washington, Indiana, Huntingburg, Santa Claus, Indiana. That's southwestish, Jasperish area there around 6 o'clock. Take it out a little further to 7 p.m. And you're going to be targeting an impact of places like Corydon, Bedford, Bloomington. This is right here. This is basically kind of that 7 p.m. location.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a little east of that. This is suggesting 40-mile-per-hour movement. Now, as this matures, it could speed up a little
Speed
bit.
up a little bit, yeah.
So maybe this is more like 6:30 in here. But nonetheless, let's go. I'll take it down to Nashville 7:30, Morgantown 7:40, Cordray Sweetwater 7:45, Seymour 7:50, Trafalgar, Columbus, Taylorsville, Edinburgh, closer to 8 o'clock right now at the current speed. But again, as it reaches here, I'm kind of interested in an uptick in intensity. It's already intense, but the environment's conducive here for some action. Again, I think a nowcast is going out to Clarity, so making sure you have that Clarity home package is going to be key with this. You're also going to get location-specific alerts and radar that updates every 2 minutes. So that's going to be a great way for you to stay out ahead of this.
Yeah, for sure. And again, scan that QR code in the top left or go to bamwx.com/clarity packages for more information about that and to get started there. Again, $99 a year. Michael, that's a heck of a deal. I think somebody did the math. It's like 27 cents a day or something like that.
It's a bit ridiculous, if I'm being honest with you.
It's a
Bit
lot
of a
cheaper than
deal there.
Starbucks. I bet most people spend more at Starbucks in a month than $99 a year.
Oh my gosh, there's no question. There's no question. Yeah, Pacer game tonight, 6 o'clock. Is it a home game tonight?
I don't
I
know.
think I don't
Somebody will tell us.
think so. Maybe it is. I mean, I think they're going to close out the series tonight, regardless. Um, but yeah, I think there's going to be some really cool opportunities for some cloud photos tonight. These with this gust front, Brett. So
Yeah, for sure. And these latest frames that continue to come in, I continue to see that segment northwest of Harrisburg, Illinois to Bow. I would definitely be concerned. Right now, those warnings are for 60 miles an hour. I wouldn't be shocked if that is bumped up as this continues to push further east to 70 miles an hour. So if you're in southwestern Indiana, from Vincennes to Evansville, Jasper. Uh, I think that if you're in that corridor here over the next couple of hours, you are going to be under the gun for some really, really strong winds, some strong storms. I think that there's some hail on this as well. Looks like 3/4 nickel sized hail right now warned on these. And again, on the northern edge of that, north of Vincennes, as these storms continue to lift kind of to the north, I'm concerned about that flash flood risk as well.
yeah, here's some indication of at least there being some hail, especially kind of on the north where these individual cells are developing. Those are some pretty nasty returns in there, Brett. DBZ's approaching 70. Um, those cloud tops are probably pushing 50 plus thousand feet.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and cold up there. Some hail. There's
Yeah.
certainly some hail there. So interesting nonetheless. What kind of questions do we have? Do we want to take some questions while we're analyzing things, or what do we got?
Yeah. Most recent question, Sullivan County. This definitely kind of heading in your direction, kind of that northern edge, I would say. These storms kind of lifting to the north. Right now the worst of the winds is to your south as this line approaches, but certainly I think that some strong storms moving in your direction there. Again, kind of in the southern Sullivan County, kind of approaching the border there right now. So you're certainly still at risk here over the next couple of hours. Greenwood timing, yeah, looking just after about 7 o'clock for Johnson County.
Yeah, I think Johnson County is 7 p.m. give or take 20 minutes on each side, and that's going to be based on how this progresses. But I like that.
Same thing for Bartholomew County. Bartholomew, Johnson County, along that corridor, they're probably going to be again just a little after 7, as Michael just said.
And I believe Hope said a new nowcast is being worked on, so that should populate into clarity any moment. If I understood her correctly there. So
I'm refreshing
I'm on it. I don't
impatiently.
see it yet. Um,
Let's see here. Shelbyville, that'll be a little bit later. Shelbyville, I don't know, 7:30 to 8 o'clock probably. Bloomington around or just a little before 7.
I'm going to go to clarity here real quick. There we go. Um, okay, so
Hope said they just sent it.
so a new nowcast will be out again. If you want access, you go to bamwx.com and you can sign up for clarity. It's right there on the homepage, $99 a year. Go to the new nowcast. Let's see where we got here. Pull this bad boy up. This is how this works here. I don't have a nowcast. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing and see if I can. I don't have it.
While you do that, it's probably loading in if they just sent it. I will go ahead and pull up just kind of a wider view because I'm getting some pictures. I'm live over here on TikTok as well, so just give a wider view. If you're out in eastern Ohio right now, we have severe storms pushing off to the east. Probably will continue to deal with, wow, these Michael, this new severe thunderstorm warning, just real quick in eastern Ohio, this is for 80-mile-per-hour winds.
Woo.
This would eventually approach the Pittsburgh area. And so if you are in New Philadelphia, out in eastern Ohio, Wheeling, and then eventually Pittsburgh in western Pennsylvania. You are under the gun. This is a very, very strong line of storms that's moving through with the potential for destructive wind gusts as it pushes off to the east. And so, yeah, if you're in east central Ohio, southwestern and western Pennsylvania, you are going to be dealing with some very, very damaging wind gusts over the next hour or so in these areas. Further out to the west, we still have severe thunderstorm watches in effect across northern Kentucky, western Ohio, the rest of southern Indiana. I would imagine that this may be expanded into northern Kentucky near Louisville as well as this line pushes further off to the east. But anywhere kind of in this yellow shaded area at play for damaging wind gusts, large hail, and an isolated tornado as we go throughout this evening. And guys, this is a big storm system. We zoom all the way out here on Clarity. We have severe thunderstorm warnings from southwest Texas along this boundary all the way up into western parts of New York. The yellow shaded areas, those are all severe thunderstorm watches that are in effect right now. And so, anywhere from northern Texas to upstate New York dealing with severe weather as we go throughout this evening. I lost Michael. I don't know where Michael went. In terms of tornado threats in southern Indiana, again, I think that it's an isolated threat right now. I'm seeing people on here saying that they got the nowcast. So just got the nowcast on Clarity. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Here we go. Here's the new nowcast available on the Clarity platform right now. As of 3:40 right now, blue circled area, that is where they are tracking scattered storms with hail and wind risk pushing to the northeast prior to the main line. We've been talking about that. And then there's the timing for the main line. So they're a little bit faster. They're anticipating that this line will speed up a little bit as it hits that more favorable environment, puts this at about 6:40 for Franklin, Columbus, Greenwood, 7:40 out towards just west or just east of Madison, Indiana, 6:40 Louisville, 6:40 Greenwood, Shelbyville probably at about 7 o'clock. So maybe a little bit sped up there from what we had talked about, probably anticipating hitting this more favorable environment. Alrighty, map just answered my question. That's awesome. Why does Danville literally bring a train through right when severe weather is coming? That I don't know. Tornado threat for Johnson County, not high. An isolated tornado maybe, but I think it's lower end for sure. Wind and hail going to be the biggest threats with this system. Will the storms firing up ahead of the main line weaken the storms that are further south and to the west? I don't necessarily think so, because if we zoom in here, you can see that most of these storms are kind of on the northern edge of this. And when you get such a strong rear inflow jet and such an intense environment, there's not really enough time to weaken these storms. So I don't really think that that will be the case in this particular scenario. Again, here's a look at the current radar. Right now, if I had to kind of highlight an area that I would be most concerned about in terms of the most damaging winds, right now it's this corridor from Mount Vernon, Illinois down towards Vienna, probably working Evansville, Owensboro, Kentucky. I would say Mount Carmel, Washington, Jasper, Paoli, Bedford, Salem. It's going to be in this corridor in here where the strongest winds are likely going to be.
Brett, sorry about that. I had someone come in and was talking to me, and yeah, so
all
anyway.
Good. I was like, oh, Michael disappeared.
Yeah, so so they were a little quicker on the nowcast, is what you were saying that they sent out to Clarity.
Yes, I think anticipating that this activity would speed up a little bit as it pushes further east into the more favorable environment.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That's kind of typical. Just the northward extent of this, I'm having a really tough time with it because the last couple of frames, I don't know. It's just it's gonna be my line may come a little south, like southern Johnson County versus northern Johnson County.
Yeah, it seems like as this rear inflow jet, Michael, and this bowing has started to happen, it's kind of forced this line to stay a little bit more east rather than lifting north like it was. It's almost like that circulation has started to kick in, and it's almost forcing this line to shift a little bit more easterly. There's still a very subtle northerly component here with these storms, but over the past couple of frames, it's definitely slowed down.
Yeah.
The severe thunderstorm watch area in terms of the most intense storms is probably pretty decent.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. It's going to be, again, hey, look at that. Patricia signed up for Clarity. Welcome. Um, Let me go and show my thought process real quick, because for those of you wondering, um, the northern extent. This is the question I know everyone's at. It's on everybody's mind. That's why I'm kind of trying to put some emphasis on it. Um, Gosh, that may be too north. I'm just trying to say, okay, here to here, Brett, something like this, something like that. I think you
Yeah,
could possibly cut Morgan County in half. Excuse me.
bless you.
Possibly cut Johnson County, Shelby County. It's just going to be close. So, nonetheless, here, this part here, there's certainly going to be heavy rain threats, because it's going to kind of be doing one of these, but also doing this. So the upward and eastward nature of it can certainly spawn flooding threats where on grounds that are already saturated.
Sure.
That's going to be something else to keep in mind there. Um, it's certainly lost more of its cellular look. It's definitely more linear and across. It's it's not an individual cell like setup. You do have this here. That's a there it went. Just
There it is. Yeah.
to say that looks like a nasty little cell there.
So
That's going to head into Bedford. 50-mile-per-hour wind, but it's warned for 1-inch hail, and you can see that the return there. That's a 70 dBz return. You don't get that very often here.
yeah, it's already showing up on clarity at actually over an inch. Clarity is indicating that it could be more like 1.36-inch diameter hail.
Wow.
So even a little bit bigger than 1-inch diameter hail there.
I had it pulled up. There we go. I'll go back over here real quick so they can see that. We'll zoom in again. Clarity home. You can do this. You can zoom in and check radar. 350 scan. There's 352, and there's the indication that Brett was talking about for the hail, just moving north into Lagodi. 1.1, 1.46.
Yeah, so approaching ping pong ball sized hail there.
Yeah. Mount Olive, Udalik, Bedford, Silverville, wherever in the Sam hell that is. Just approaching State Road 37 here. Again, that warning is going to go. It goes for an hour, so it's a slow moving storm there.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the SPC mesoanalysis here in terms of their hail parameter and their hail size here, and it's up to 2 inches. It would indicate that some of these storms could produce up to 2-inch diameter hail.
Wow. Okay.
So
Big boy
yeah,
hail.
they're let's see, I'm looking. Their significant hail parameter is at 50%.
Wow.
So that's pretty decent, I would say.
Yeah. Sure is. Someone said, do you offer coverage on Clarity for New York, New England regions? Yes, we do, Kate. The 99 package. I mean, anywhere in the U.S.,
Yep.
we're sending nowcasts. You're getting hour by hour, daily radar, future radar, all the analysis there. You're getting that for sure. So some of you are asking what the circle means around my location. I'm monitoring the atmosphere for lightning. Now, that's an add-on to Clarity. I can also monitor for the CONUS outside of this. I can turn lightning on and say, hey, this is the thunderstorm, the lightning activity within the storms. Just in this view here, there's 1,100 cloud to ground lightning strikes in the past 10 minutes. But this, you can see next to me, my radius is saying for 15 miles, there's no lightning around me. So that's what I'm monitoring is an 8 and a 15-mile ring. All right, as it gets closer, those rings will light up and it'll change because there's a ton of lightning with this. Um, it's another additional tool that Clarity does offer. And
Hmm.
I loved our lightning tracking system because it is by far the absolute fastest out there. I'm going to show you just so you guys can see our lightning tracking in the works because um, if you are in the athletics, outdoor event, sports management, um, any high school, whatever the case may be, you're monitoring events and whatnot. Um, this location specific alerting, you can see how the outside ring there is orange. That's the caution ring. Okay. And then you can see what I'm looking at is dashes and bolts. These are cloud to cloud lightning strikes and then cloud to ground lightning strikes. And you can see the legend here. It's telling me how many and the age of those strikes and the distance of the closest strike, 19.9 miles away. So if I was in Bedford, I would be getting this alert directly to my device, not only for that, but also for the severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, it would have pushed directly to my device. So the lightning add-on is a fantastic way to view um, the threat for lightning inside these thunderstorms. So just thought I would show that to you all while we're here. So
And that's a lot of lightning with those.
it is, man. These are
Cloud to
local
cloud,
lightning.
400.
Yeah,
Shoot.
it's a ton of lightning. Yep. So nonetheless, I'm going to delete that because I don't want all those alerts. But that's the deal. So
Yeah, just continuing to kind of look around here. These storms, I'm on TikTok too. I'm getting some questions about Eastern Ohio and those storms, Michael. Still being warned for 80 mile per hour damaging wind gusts. That's a substantial damaging wind in a pretty widespread area in Eastern Ohio there right now. So, again, I think that kind of shows you what the environment is capable of right now.
mm-hmm. That's yeah. I see a question here from Brittany Painter. Coaching a T-ball game 6 p.m. in Greenwood. Should we cancel? I think lightning is going to cancel you whether you get the rain or not. If I'm being honest. Could
Hmm.
the heaviest of the thunderstorm activity evade Greenwood just to the south? Yes, but lightning and thunder, you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna play. So that's my personal opinion on that.
We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning here for 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch diameter hail. Plainville, Odin, and Bloomfield. If this storm continues to track in the direction that it's going, this would be moving towards Bloomington here next. And so, these are they're still lifting a decent amount to the north and to the east. These latest
They
ones,
are. I mean,
latest
they definitely are. Those leading edge ones are still well within play for sure.
so. If we zoom out here, this to me, Michael, I would say the main thing, this to me has a little bit more of an easterly motion on it right now. The main bow, this looks like it's gonna smack Evansville. Um,
It definitely does.
Feels like Evansville has been the hot spot this year in terms of severe weather. Gosh, they've had tornadoes, they've had crazy wind. I feel like they've had a little bit of everything so far this year. So, again, these are warned for 65 mile per hour wind gusts right now. Wouldn't be shocked if that is bumped up a little bit as these push to the east. But again, Evansville over the next hour, you're probably right in the bullseye here. Same thing with Mount Vernon, Boonville, Owensboro, Henderson, Princeton, and eventually Jasper. You're probably in a pretty decent spot to get some of these stronger winds as well. And then here's what I was talking about a minute ago out in Ohio. You can see the same bowing nature.
Yeah.
See how it's bowed here? So, again, New Philadelphia, Carrollton, uh, and again, eventually Pittsburgh here. This is moving at, let's see here, this is moving at 55 miles an hour. So, yeah, you're probably looking at a little over an hour for Pittsburgh here to get some really gnarly storms to move in. Philadelphia, Carrollton.
Ah,
Uh, okay, let's see here. Is this going to hit Bloomington? Yes, I do think this hits Bloomington. Bedford, you're right in it as well. North side of Indy, I think you're probably okay. In terms of severe weather, I think it stays south.
mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Any other? There's a new warning. New warning that just popped in for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Interesting here, the tornado detection. Keeping an eye on it at least, highlighting that a tornado is possible. So it means they're watching the severe storm for some kind of rotation that they're seeing. Not enough to produce a tornado warning yet, but they're monitoring it, is basically what that indicates.
Brett, a local view of radar shows increasing convection locally here. Morgan County, 2 cells have fired up.
Mm.
Monroe County as well, just west of Bloomington. I don't know if you're seeing that.
Yep.
Yeah, MRMS is it's starting to pick up there. It's no lightning yet, but we'll see if they can become surface based and produce some thunderstorms.
Turn on our lightning here. So yeah, you can see, man, these storms have a ton of lightning. So again, if you are managing an outdoor event, having the Clarity platform this evening to help you monitor this lightning and these severe thunderstorm warnings is going to be so beneficial. Not only that, but just being able to talk to our meteorologists. We've got, I think there's 6 or 7 of them out there monitoring weather right now for schools across the area, baseball teams, outdoor events, you name it right now. And of course, sending out nowcast to all of you that have the Clarity Home subscription as well.
Yep.
Is it going to break before Ohio? Depends on where you're at in Ohio, but I don't think so. I think Cincinnati, Dayton, Hamilton, probably right in the mix of things here. New severe thunderstorm warning out here in Kentucky as well.
Very sporadic. A lot of you can just kind of tell the wide open supply of moisture and instability here. Thunderstorm clusters and severe warnings all over the place. It's rather unique too. I mean, it's kind of interesting where there's how this is all shaped out.
Why does it say NWS Wichita on the National Weather Service Indianapolis warnings?
I have no idea.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't see that.
Nope, I don't see that either.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know, but if it does, it's not us.
Yeah, we don't do that. So,
but let's put this into motion one more time here. Yeah, I think Evansville's about to just get hammered. No, let me turn on the rotation tracks too. See if there's anything new showing up here. I'll turn off the lightning. So, by the way, look at that. I see 1,300 lightning strikes in the past 10 minutes across the U.S.
That's a lot. Well, that's just in your frame.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's if you zoom out, the strike count will adjust to the total strike counts. Should anyways.
Well, let's see. Stayed the same. But anyway, rotation tracks. Here we go. We are seeing some rotation with this line. It's not super strong at this point, but again, I think it's worth monitoring kind of where the core of this wind is. We saw it, gosh, maybe a month ago with the line that worked through Northwest Indiana and kind of the Chicago area where you would just get these notches with a very similar setup here. And you can kind of see again that the clearing, the bowing here just indicates a strong rear inflow jet. And sometimes when you get that, you get little wobbles along the line and you can get these spin ups. All right.
Brett, let's
I was going to say take a quick break and kind of
Yeah,
watch how this progresses?
yeah. Let's watch um, the next hour or so and see what this does, and come back. I mean, again, the area uh, I-70 South and probably southern Morgan, southern Johnson, southern Shelby County is what we're going to monitor. Um, Brett did toss up real quick. It is coming up. It's in like 3 weeks or two and
Hmm.
a half weeks. Our Storm Cancer 5K. Um, Register to come run or walk. We will be out running or walking. If there's 500 of you running, I'll wear a Superman costume. But if there's 499 of you, I won't. So just saying, come out, register for that. Contributions, the money raised goes to childhood brain cancer research. Um, it's an event that we have a lot of fun putting on and a lot of fun handing the money over to the foundation for, um, for the donation. So the link there is in the comments to register. Come and run or walk, see all the activities and the different booths and stuff that we'll have out there. And if you want to sponsor it, you can do that too. You can go and become a sponsor and donate. So
Yep, for sure. Yeah, getting to it, and we have some awesome fundraising that we're going to be doing during the event as well. Some really good giveaways and some donation baskets that we have, and so there's some really cool ones this year. I can't wait to hopefully get my hands on one of them. There's a Ninja Creamy. Michael, have you heard of one of those? It makes ice cream for you.
I have one.
You have one. I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope to see a lot of you out here. Hopefully, you can meet some of you. We're going to have a BAM table, a BAM tent. I know a lot of our, if not all of our staff, going to be out there for this. And it was a blast last year. And yeah, let's get Michael in a Superman costume. I think we can we one up Thor from last year.
You can try. Hey, real quick, go to my screen and we'll wrap it up, Brett. BAMWX.com on the right, Clarity Home, built for all of you who want better weather but don't want the full deal. But there's also ag and business too. There's some great packages there. Um, Location specific alerts, radar, future radar, impactful weather nowcast from a meteorologist, you name it. Go and check it out. Skylar, if you want to add lightning, reach out to us. One of my team members will probably reach out to you after seeing your comment if you're serious. Like you can add lightning for a fee to your subscription. So we're going to watch the weather. We're going to watch the radar. We'll come back on in a little bit if need be. If you have Clarity Home, you'll continue to get updates right from our team, and we'll keep you posted.